You ever feel like you've been doing everything right, but your life still feels stuck? Like you followed the plan, you worked hard, you stayed consistent, you avoided distractions, and yet you're not where you thought you'd be, not even close. And that feeling, it's frustrating, because it doesn't make sense. You did what you were supposed to do, so why does it still feel like nothing is really changing? And the worst part is, from the outside, it looks like you're doing fine. You're responsible, you're disciplined, you're trying. But inside, there's this quiet thought that keeps coming back. Why does it feel like I'm not moving forward? And that question matters, because most people don't stop to ask it. They just keep going, keep doing more, keep pushing harder, thinking that effort alone will fix the feeling. But here's the thing. Sometimes the problem isn't how much you're doing, it's what you're doing. Because being busy is not the same as moving forward. And that's a trap a lot of people fall into. You fill your days with tasks, you stay productive, you check things off your list, but none of it actually moves you closer to what you want. And over time, that creates a strange feeling. You're tired, but not fulfilled. You're active, but not progressing. And that disconnect is what makes everything feel stuck, because your effort and your direction are not aligned. And alignment matters more than effort. Because you can work hard in the wrong direction and still feel lost. And that's exactly what happens. You get caught in routines, habits, responsibilities, things that feel necessary, but not meaningful. And slowly, you stop questioning it. You just accept it. This is how life is. This is what I have to do. And that mindset keeps you stuck, because you're not choosing your path anymore. You're following it. And there's a big difference. Because when you're following a path you didn't choose, it doesn't feel right, even if it looks right. And that's where confusion begins. Because everything on paper makes sense, but internally, something feels off. And you can't ignore that forever. At some point, you start noticing it more. In quiet moments, late at night, when you're alone with your thoughts. You start questioning things. Is this really what I want? Why doesn't this feel fulfilling? Am I actually moving forward or just staying busy? And those questions can feel uncomfortable because they challenge everything you've been doing, everything you've built your routine around. But they're important because they're pointing you towards something deeper. They're pointing you toward alignment. And alignment starts with awareness, with noticing where your time is going, where your energy is going, what actually matters to you, not what's expected of you, not what looks good, but what feels real. And that's not always easy to figure out. Because if you've been following a certain path for a long time, you might not even know what you want anymore. You just know what you're used to. And breaking out of that takes effort, not physical effort, mental effort, emotional effort. It takes being honest with yourself about what's working and what's not. And that honesty can be uncomfortable because it might mean admitting that something in your life isn't right, even if it looks fine from the outside. But avoiding that truth keeps you stuck because you can't change something you're not willing to see. And once you start seeing it, things begin to shift. Not instantly, not dramatically, but gradually. You start questioning your habits, your routines, your choices. You start asking, is this actually helping me move forward? And that question changes everything. Because now, you're not just doing things automatically. You're doing them intentionally. And intention is what creates progress. Because when you're intentional, you focus on what actually matters. You stop wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. You start making choices based on direction, not just convenience. And over time, that builds momentum, real momentum, not just activity, but progress. And that feels different, because now your effort has meaning. It's not just about staying busy, it's about moving forward, even if it's slow, even if it's not perfect, it's real. And that's what most people are missing. Not effort, not discipline, direction. And if you've been feeling stuck lately, if your life feels like it's not really moving forward, I want you to consider this. Maybe it's not about doing more. Maybe it's about doing differently, about stepping back and looking at where you're going. Because sometimes the fastest way forward is to pause, to reflect, to realign. And that doesn't mean everything in your life is wrong. It just means something needs adjusting. Something needs attention. And the sooner you notice it, the easier it becomes to change it, because staying busy will only keep you in the same place. But being intentional moves you forward. And that's the shift, from activity to direction, from effort to alignment. And once you make that shift, everything starts to feel different. Your days feel more purposeful, your actions feel more meaningful, your progress feels more real, and that's when you realize you were never stuck. You were just moving in a direction that didn't match where you wanted to go. And changing that direction changes everything. And if this hits something in you, if you've been feeling stuck even though you're doing everything right, just know you're not alone. A lot of people go through this. They just don't talk about it. So if this resonated with you, drop A in the comments. And if you want more videos like this, the kind that actually help you understand your direction, make sure you subscribe, because the more clarity you have, the easier it becomes to move forward. And that's what truly changes your life.